Hey brick lovers, so Buckingham Palace continues, but I've reached a bit of a pause because I'm running out of pieces and I'm waiting for a few to be ordered, but you can kind of get a sense of the scale of it here. It's getting enormous, and that's only one wing, so if I can get enough pieces, I'll see if I can build them on the other side as well, and then I'll take up most of the room. But while I'm waiting for those pieces to arrive, thought I'd introduce you to another one of my London landmark Lego builds, which is Battersea Power Station. So here it is in all its glory. The front elevation of Battersea Power Station, which is one of my favourite buildings in South London. Complete with a pig flying in the sky in honour of Pink Floyd album cover that this building featured on. It's a huge model, 80 centimetres in height. I think that's about 31 inches. So it's kind of, whatever these are they micro figures? Not sure, but that's about the right scale. That was an accident. I didn't mean to make it that scale. And can you tell I love this building? I've also got a plaster cast model of it. That's not made of Lego. And then I made a tiny one. Look at that. There we are. That is Lego. But it's the big one that we're going to take a closer look at. So I fetched it down off the shelf now. It's been up there for a while. You can see the dust and cobwebs probably gathering there. Look at those. Need to take this apart. I've actually brought it down because I'm going to start dismantling this. My children are getting fed up with the fact that I've hogged all of the reddish brown bricks in here. But before I dismantle it, I thought I'd show you some of the things that I'm quite pleased with this model. It is pretty big, not quite as big scale as Buckingham Palace. That's much bigger, but nonetheless it is fairly big. And it's built in 3 sections that come apart. There we are. Got you apart. So you can see it's built in a kind of modular fashion. So these bits slot into each other. There's a lot of building on the side going on here. So all of these sections are actually kind of built on their side. And then we can kind of prise this whole bit out like that, you see? So there's a lot of building on the side like that, the plates and tiles stacked up that way. And then similarly, so if I flip it around, you'll see it's a facade. It's braced across the back to stop that. This section had a tendency to bend inwards if I didn't have these Technic beams bracing it across the back, and some creative use of clips and bars to try and hold these in place. Oops. This whole top section is built on the side, and these are big stacks of plates that are not very stable on their own. First of all, let's have a look at the chimneys. We've got 2 chimneys. They lift out, and then this one has a glass lift or elevator for our American cousins at the top. That's known as Lift 109, and it is a really cool feature of the new Battersea Power Station kind of renovations. You can ride this glass lift up to the very top of the tower and you get spectacular views over London. It's amazing. In my version it doesn't move, but I'm going to pop the top off and show you how I built the inside of this, because I think it's kind of a fun technique to get something that looks like a cylinder made out of hundreds of these little cheese slopes on white plates. So let's pop it open and have a look. So you can see it's got a kind of central core running through the middle of it, of these round plates and bricks with plates that have a bar handle thing coming off the side, and then these clips are slightly offset from each other. So you can see if I put the 2 side by side, you see how those clips are offset from each other and then spiraling around to create what looks like a cylinder. It's actually really hard to get them to line up. That's the most tricky part. They always want to twist apart. Look at that. You can really see how Lego's colour on these white bricks changes quite dramatically. In this sunlight, you can see that very, very clearly, can't you? Look how yellow some of those are now. I'm not a smoker, so I promise you that's not nicotine stains. Right, should we pop the top off one of these towers and have a look at what it's like underneath? So I've taken the top off one of these wonderful Art Deco towers, and you can kind of see how it's held together. First thing I'm going to show you is that this whole front section is slid in place, actually. So it's built, this again is built on its side, so can you see those stacks of plates and tiles to give these kind of fin-like things, and then it just slides up inside the tower. It's got a stud at the top and the bottom, I think, to hold it in place. I can't put it back in one-handed. There we go. Put it back in. And then the base unit. So these towers have this lovely vertical sort of cement brick moulding that runs all the way around them. Looks really cool in real life. They're massive. They're almost as tall as me. But yeah, we've achieved that with the masonry brick profile, but using the reverse, which doesn't have the bricks. So it's just got the vertical lines, which is quite cool. But the challenge was to build everything on its side here. So there's almost an entire layer here of bricks laid on their side, and then some carefully calculated snot to allow the above section to kind of fit in and be held in place. But it looks quite effective. You can see on these other two sections, it's quite convincing, and it's quite stable as well. There's no movement there. If I wobble the tower, they're not coming apart. They're held in place really tightly. So I hope you're enjoying seeing these London landmark builds come together. As always, if you feel like supporting me and helping me to complete some of these, one day I would love to build all 4 cooling towers of Battersea Power Station and finish the whole thing. You can actually buy a copy of the instructions for this model if you want to, if you'd like to rebuild it for yourself. That's available on my Rebrickable profile. And yeah, if you'd like to, you can also buy me a coffee, or just keep watching, follow the journey as I share some more build updates on Buckingham Palace. For now, I'll say cheerio, keep on bricking.